Hello everyone. It is the 11th today. We are doing CMA Inter, in which we are in the second session of revision. What have we done so far? So far, we are done with uh, forecasting, time and motion, capacity, location planning. We now move into productivity management. Productivity management in the workbook starts somewhere around page number 29. Let's start with the first question. What does the question say? The question says that in a particular plant of Antibiotic Limited, there are 20 workers manufacturing a single product. And the product per month and the output per month, considering of 25 days, has of a particular product is 4,000. So 20 workers are working 25 days and giving you an output of 4,000. How much is the monthly productivity per worker? See, very beautifully put. मंथली प्रोडक्टिविटी पर वर्कर, एक महीने में एक वर्कर मुझे क्या देता है? सो दैट्स वेरी इजी. मुझे 4,000 यूनिट्स मिलते हैं 20 वर्कर्स से. सो द मंथली प्रोडक्टिविटी पर वर्कर इज 4,000 आउट ऑफ 20, विच इज 200 यूनिट्स पर वर्कर. अब यहाँ पे उन्होंने पर वर्कर नहीं लिखा क्योंकि यहाँ उन्होंने पर वर्कर मैंने इंक्लूड कर दिया है. अगर ये पर वर्कर नहीं लिखते ना, तो फिर यहाँ पर दे वो लिखते पर वर्कर. Correct? Next, what is the productivity per worker per day per worker? हर एक वर्कर की एक दिन की प्रोडक्टिविटी क्या है? तो देखो, 20 वर्कर 25 दिन काम करते हैं. When 20 workers work 25 days, it's 20 workers into 25 days. That's 500 worker days. When you're talking about 500 worker days, the per worker day productivity is 4,000 divided by 500, which is 8 units per worker day. पर यहाँ पे उन्होंने लिख दिया है per day per worker, so means the same. So it is input output productivity and very beautifully put questions. जो मॉड्यूल में पता हमने बोला था कि वो अच्छे से लिखे नहीं गए हैं, यहाँ पे they've written them very well. So if you want to write down, it's the same solution. I'm still giving you a minute or two. Write down whatever you want to very quickly. Moving on to the next question. The next question is again an input output productivity. What does the question say? The capital employed of Big Tree Limited is 500 crore, comprising of 350 crores on the net fixed asset and 150 crore on the net working capital. The sales turnover is 2000 crore and the net profit is 16%. What do you want? Compute the capital productivity of the company for the year. So they want to know capital कितना productive है. अब capital कितना productive ये पता करने के लिए we need to find out कि आपने कितने input पे क्या output निकाल के दिया. What is the input that you applied and what is the output that you got. So I got a profit of 16% by putting in 500 crores. Arey haan, but I want value wise what your profit is. It is 16% of 2000 crores now. So let me tell you what the output is. So can I say profit is 2000 ka 16%? And what is 2000 ka 16%? Let's get the calculator out. 320. Thank you, Diya. I will still have the calculator ready. So 16 2s as 32, 320 for an input of 500 crores. So can I say 500 डाल के 320 crore निकाला आपने? Then can I say it is 320 out of 500 into 100, which is going to be 320 divided by 500, multiply that by 100, and that is 64. So can I say the answer is going to be the productivity is 64%? Correct? What is the use of this productivity? So the use of this productivity is in a way saying that every time you invest a certain amount of money, you will get something as a return. Correct? That return will be how? So basically, it's like saying every time you put 1 rupee, you will get a 0.64 rupees in return, or every 1 rupee will give you a 64 paise in return. So what we are going to do is you can use this productivity as a ratio of how much you are going to invest, and against that investment, what is going to be your return. That is what we are going to say. Correct? That is question number 2. Very quickly write that down. I don't think it has anything to do with working capital as far as OM is concerned. अगर FM का क्वेश्चन होता तो बात अलग होती. Moving on to the next question. सर आवाज आ रही है किसी के माइक से. I don't think अब आएगी because I have not given anybody to privilege to mute. And I will figure out who that is. Don't worry. There are two industries, small limited and big limited, manufacturing ball bearings for machines. The standard time per piece is 10 minutes. There are 24 workers in small limited and 25 workers in big limited. In the production process of ball bearings, the output of the two companies is 1000 units and 1500 units respectively per shift of 8 hours. Find labor productivity of each shift of 8 hours. So they're asking you कि आपका labor in that 8-hour shift कितना productive है. तो can I say here you are asking for your input output productivity? I need to know कि आप standard क्या expect करते हो और actual क्या निकलता है. So let's start with number one is आपके पास दो इंडस्ट्री है, big and small, small and big, sorry. So let's say small पहले लिख देते हैं and the next is big बाद में लिख देते हैं. Correct. What do we know about them? So small and big का we know the standard time per piece is 10 minutes. There are 24 workers. So small में if there are 24 workers, then worker hours 24 workers working 8 hours every day is going to be 24 into 8, 192 hours and 10 minutes में दिया है. So that's 192 hours, which is 192 into 60 minutes, which is 11520. What about big? 25 workers for 8 hours. 200. $12,000 minutes. Correct. Standard production should be is 10 minutes per unit. So 1152 and this is 1200. 1200 units should be your standard production. What is they are actually producing? Actual production is 1000 and 1500. Can I say A is doing, B is doing very well, A is doing badly because the actual is lesser than the standard productivity is 1000 out of 1152 into 100. 86.81 and this is 15 against 1200. $125. So that's 86.81% and 125%. So one in the chat box if anybody is still writing. One if anyone is still writing. Great. Moving on to the next. Jaldi. Chalo. This was question number 3. I want you to skip 4 for now, and I want you to come to question number 5. Chalo. What does the question say? Nahi aayegi Jay. I have made everybody mute and there will not be any noise. You must be hearing the noise from behind me because there are lectures going on otherwise. And that is why there will be noise from my mic and not from anybody else's mic. Chalo. The following data is available for a manufacturing unit. And it's a similar question that we've done. And I wanted to do this because these are the kind of questions that they've asked in the past. So to begin with, what are they saying? They're saying that there are 30 operators working 8 hours every day for 25 days a month. and standard production is 600 units. Remember, we used to ignore this. This standard nahi hai. The words actually used is on an average, we produce 600 units. How much time does it take per unit? It takes 8 hours to produce one unit. The following information is obtained in January from the firm. Man days lost due to absenteeism is 60. Units produced is 480. Idle time is 552. You want percentage of absenteeism, utilization, overall productivity in terms of units produced per man per month. So it's a ditto replica of the question that we've done. So we are going to begin by obviously writing the question. Number of operators. 30. Daily working hours. Is 8. Next, number of days per month is 25. Next is standard time per unit is 8. Correct? So let's come to, on a standard basis, how many units do you expect from me? Because what we are going to do is we are going to pitch 3 timings against each other. There is going to be a design, there is going to be an effective, and there is going to be an actual. So let's talk about the design timing. Design is going to be 30 operators working 8 hours every day for 25 days. And the time given is also in hours. So great, we will keep it in hours. So that is 30 into 8 into 25, which is 6,000 hours is what you have. But this is not what you get. You effectively don't get this because there are laborers that are spending idle time and there are man days lost due to absenteeism. So I'm going to say man days lost due to absenteeism is 60, which is 60 into 8, which is 6 8s are 48 hours. So effective capacity is 6,000 minus the 480 that is lost due to absenteeism and 552 that is lost due to idle. So what are you left with? 6,000 minus 480 minus 552, which is 4968. What am I actually saying? Actual output is 480 units. Convert units to hours. So you are showing me an actual output of 3840 hours. So I have what is called a design capacity, an effective capacity, and an actual output. I have all the 3. Let's start answering one question at a time. Percentage absenteeism. Is they are absent for 480 hours out of a total of 6,000 hours, which is going to be 480 divided by 6,000. Multiply that by 100. Can I say 8% absenteeism? Next, efficiency of utilization of labor. So how efficiently am I utilizing my labor? So you're talking about utilization. How do you calculate utilization? What had you designed and what are you getting? I have designed 6,000. I'm only getting 43840. So that's 3840 upon 6,000 into 100, which is going to be 64% utilized. And what do we talk about? The next, the productive efficiency of labor. How productive is your labor? Productive efficiency of labor is, I'm getting an output of 3840, but they've clocked in work for 4968 hours. That's 77.29. या फिर 30% लिख सकते हो. Last but not the least, and that is overall productivity of labor in terms of units produced per man per month. So एक आदमी एक महीने में कितने यूनिट्स बनाता है? I am getting an output of 480 units with how many men? 30 men. So productivity per man per month is, you have how many units? 480 units produced by 30 men. 480 units produced by 30 men is 16. Next, remember उन्होंने उस solution में compare किया था. हम भी फटाफट करके देते हैं. Usually 600 units बनते थे, अब सिर्फ 480 बन रहे हैं. So let's go back to expected productivity. Is 600 out of 30, which is nothing else but a 20. Do you notice productivity has fallen? So drop in productivity is, it has gone from 16 to 20, 20 to 16. Why can I say 4 units? Now that is a unit drop. What percentage has it dropped? It has dropped from 20 to 16. So percentage drop is 4 out of 20 into 100, which is nothing else but 400 divided by 20, which is a 20% drop. And this should be your final answers. Start writing down. Any question you have, ask. One in the chat box if anybody is still writing. One if anyone is still writing. Great. Chalo. Moving on to question number 6. What does the question say? Compute the productivity per machine R. एक machine R आपके लिए कितना productive है? With the following data. Also draw your interpretation. We almost had an exactly same question that we did the last time in the institute material. So number 1, I have month, and the month is April, May, and June. I had number of machines, which is 400, 550, 580, working hours, 220, 180, and 220 production units is 99000, 1 lakh, and 1,20,000. Correct? What I'm going to do is I'm going to find total hours. Total hours is going to be 400 machine working for 220 hours is going to be 400 into 220, which is 88,000. Then you are going to have 180 into 550 is 99,000. And then you are going to have 580 into 220, which is 580 into 220, 127,600. Correct? The next thing that we are going to find is productivity. Productivity is going to be, I'm producing 99,000 by giving in 88,000 hours, which is going to be 1.125 units per hour. Then there is going to be I'm producing 1 lakh units by giving in 99,000, which is 1.0101. And lastly, I am producing 125 by giving in 127,600, which is 125 divided by 127,600, which is 0.9796. So do you notice the productivity is dropping? So my interpretation is going to be that the number of units or the output is increasing, but the productivity is decreasing. Write that down, please. Chalo, I think that should be enough time. Let's quickly move on to the next. Again, another question that was there in the material. There are just a few values changed here and there. And again, see, I'm not doing all of this because they will ask. The idea is that because they have put this, there is a chance that they want you to know these. So an incentive scheme allows proportionate production bonus beyond 100%. What does that mean? Any better work that you do beyond 100% performance, you will get a bonus. Incentive bonus, calculate the incentive bonus and total payment received by an operator on a particular day during which the following particulars apply. Operation assembling pocket transistor radio sets. They've not changed it. This remains the same. Content 30 standard minutes per assembled set. This also hasn't changed. Attended time 8 hours. Unmeasured work 2 hours. This is also the same. Number of sets assembled 15. This is also the same. Wage rate has changed. They've made it 75 per hour. How are you supposed to do this? You are supposed to first calculate the productivity of the worker. So it is going to be total time. But in this, you are doing measured work for 6 hours. Unmeasured work is for 2 hours. Now, the 6 hours that you are doing measured work, I'm going to judge you for that. So, standard output per day is 6 into 60 divided by 30 minutes, which is going to be a total of 12 units. This is what I expect from you on a standard basis. What have we done? We have found out how many minutes do you work in total. So that's 360 minutes. And every 30 minutes, you make 1 unit. So the number of units you will make is 12. We will then come to the next, and that is actual output. Actual output is 15 units. Can I see he's doing a very good job? Yes. So we will find the productivity is equal to 15 units out of 12 into 100. How productive is he? He is 125% productive, which means I need to pay this particular worker 25% more. Now 25% more of what? Of their actual salary. So now I need to come to the salary calculation or wage calculation. Now wage calculation will be done on two bases. Wage calculation for the measured work and wage calculation for the unmeasured work. Why? If you remember, we will be paying him for both, but we will not be giving him an incentive or bonus for unmeasured work. So we begin with number one is time. Time spent on measured work is 6 hours. Unmeasured work is 2 hours. Correct? Next, wage is 6 into 75, which is rupees. 6 into 75 is 450 rupees. And this is going to be 2 into 75, which is 150 rupees. Correct? Let's talk about bonus. Bonus is 25%, but only of measured work. 450 ka 25% doge. 450 ka 25% is going to be 112.5. Either nothing. What is the total? So the total here is going to be, or let me calculate it separately, or let me write it down separately. Total wage is wage for measured work wage for unmeasured work plus bonus. You are paying him 450 rupees for the plus, sorry, 150 plus 112 point, which is going to be 712.5, 450 plus 150 plus 112.5 is 712.5 is the bonus paid to, is the total wage paid to him, which includes the bonus, which includes the salary for measured, unmeasured work, everything. Now, the catch is they have asked you for productivity, and the same question they had also asked in the module, net productivity of the laborer. What productivity of the laborer are they asking? They are asking for input output productivity and not output output productivity. So let me do one thing first. Let me align this. Productivity of laborer is 15 units. He's giving me an output of, I am expecting 12, but that is not the productivity they are asking for. It is 15 units for 8 for 8 hours. No, sorry, 15 units for 6 hours. Isn't that right? Fifteen divided by 6, which is 2.5 units per, correct? That is going to be your answer. Write that down quickly. One in the chat box if anybody is still writing. One if anyone is still writing. Fine then. Moving on to the next. अब ये बहुत सारे ऐसे क्वेश्चंस हैं जो इंस्टीट्यूट मटेरियल में भी हैं, बट अब वापस यहाँ पे ना उनका सोल्यूशन अलग है. So we will follow only one solution, and that is a reason why I decided to do this, because बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स को कंफ्यूजन हो रहा था कि सर कौन सा सोल्यूशन फॉलो करें, ये फॉलो करें या वो फॉलो करें. सो माय सजेशन वुड बी, हमने जो सोल्यूशन किया है आप वही फॉलो करो. What does the question say? The question says the following data is available for a machine in a manufacturing unit. Hours work per day 8, working days per month 25, number of operators 1. Standard time, machine is 22, operator is 8, total is 30. Again, it's literally a question that is from the book. The plant is operated at 75% efficiency, and if the operator is operated at 100% efficiency, what is the output per month? Now see, what this means is, no matter what you do, the plant overall will only give you a 75 output. And that is why whatever you produce will only be available 75%. So to begin with, number one, total time. Eight hours for 25 days into 60 minutes. So that will be 8 into 25 into 60. This is a total of 12,000 minutes is the total time that is available. Time required for production is machine time plus operator time. Machine time is 22 minutes, operator is 8. So can I say therefore? Number of units produced is 12,000 divided by 30, which is 400. But I'm going to say, since the plant is only 75% efficient, therefore effective output is 400 ka 75%, which is 400 into 75%, which is 300 units. Done. This is the first part. Now, what about the second part? If the machine productivity is increased by 10%, so machine becomes more productive. When machine becomes more productive, the time will drop. Right now, if the machine is taking 22 minutes, the time will drop. So we will go back and we will say that if machine productivity increases, time decreases. Therefore, new machine time is 22 को कम करना है कितने से 10% से तो घटाना है तो नीचे 10 ऐड करना पड़ेगा which will make it 20 minutes. Here, if we directly minus percentage, the answer will come similar only. No, if you directly minus 10%, your answer will come out to be wrong. Final answer will come out to be wrong. That is not how inflation and deflation works in timings. And that is why this is the process that you have to apply. Operator time is still 8 minutes. So therefore, total time is still 28 minutes. Correct? Therefore, number of units reduced is 12,000 divided by 28. Four 28.57. That's approximately 429 units. Correct? Now, after this, what we used to do in the material was that the 75%, because I told you they had released a suggested, जहाँ पे उन्होंने वापस 75% अप्लाई किया था जो एक्चुअली करना नहीं चाहिए था बट उन्होंने किया था एंड दैट आई टोल्ड यू दैट फॉलो व्हाट दे आर डूइंग बिकॉज उन्होंने सजेस्टेड में किया था सो वी विल से सिंस plant is 75% efficient, therefore effective output is 75% of 429, which is 321.41, which is approximately 321 units. Correct? Last but not the least, and that is, what is the operator efficiency is reduced by 20%. If the operator becomes less productive, the time will increase. So if decreases, time increases. Uh, 12 8 is 96. That will become 9.6 minutes. Machine time will remain the same. That is 22 minutes. Total time is 22 plus 9.6 minutes, which is 31.6. Correct? Number units produced is 12,000 divided by 31.6, which is 379.74. That's approximately 380 units. Done? But we are again going to say since the plant is 75% efficient, therefore, effective output is 75% of the 380, which is 285 units. So, this is the complete. They've written a very short solution uh, in the workbook. Write this down, please. Any questions you have, ask. One in the chat box for anybody who's still writing. One for anyone who's still writing. Take a 10-minute break. 7:15 continue करते हैं. चलो, very quickly, moving on to the next question. And the next question is the type that they've started asking post-COVID, where we have to calculate the cycle of breakdown for them. The breakdown probability of an equipment is given below. Month, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, probability of failure, 5%, 15%, 30, 30, and 20. There are 50 such equipments in the plant. The cost of individual preventive maintenance is 150 per equipment, and the cost of breakdown is 3,000 per equipment. What do you want from me? Which is the most suitable maintenance policy, preventive maintenance or breakdown maintenance? So they are just asking you what is better, preventive maintenance or breakdown maintenance. So we have to give them the preventive maintenance, the breakdown maintenance, and the cycle timing. So pay attention. Number one, month. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Step one, we will find the expectation. We will call month as X and probability as P. We will find the X. So 1 into 0.05 is 0.05. Then you have 2 into 0.15 is 0.30. Then you will have 3 into 0.30 is 0.90. Next, you have 4 into 1.20. And lastly, 5 into 1. If I recall, I get 3.45. How do you read the 3.45? Depends on what you've multiplied with what. You've multiplied month with probability of failure. So that becomes 3.45 months per failure. If it is 3.45 months per failure, how do you convert this? Well, it becomes 1 upon 3.45 failure per month. How many equipments do you have? 50. So I will say therefore for 50 equipments, it is 1 upon 3.45 into 50 failures per month at rupees 3500 per failure. Cost of failure is per month. This is what it will cost you per month, which when converted to money will be 50 into 3500 divided by 3.45. So it will cost you 50,725 per month. Now, this is what it will cost me on an average every month if I decide to do only and only breakdown maintenance. What if I also decide to mix this up with preventive maintenance? Now, if I decide to mix this up with, oh, sorry, I'm sorry, it is 3,000 rupees per failure. Yes, I'm sorry. So that's going to be 50 into 3,000 divided by 3.45, which is 43,478.26. So 43,478.26 rupees per month. As opposed to, there is another option. And the other option is, don't just keep doing a preventive breakdown maintenance. Do breakdown maintenance up till a certain point and then stop and do a little bit of preventive and then continue. Correct? So we are going to go back and we are going to say calculation of failure. Month and number of failure. Month 1. Let me write down that we have 50 machines or 50 equipments. 50 will break down with the probability of the first month. And that is going to be 50 into 0.05, which is 2.5 failures. Correct? I'm going to very quickly find it because it's just 5 months. It's easier to find that and then go to the costing. The 2.5 will break down with a probability of 5%. And the 50 will break down with a probability of 15%. So that will be 2.5 into 0.05. Add that to memory. 50 into 0.15. Add that to memory, recall. That's 27.625 failures. Let's come to the third period. In the third period, the 7.625 will break down with a probability of 0.05. The 2.5 will break down with a probability of 15%. Plus the 50 will break down with a probability of 30%. $7.625 into 0.05. Add that to memory. 2.5 into 0.15. Add that to memory. And 50 into 0.3. Add that to memory, recall. That's 15.75625. Now, you can go that far, but that's too much to calculate. So I would suggest stop at 15.756. Now, some people might say, sir, why not do it in whole numbers? Yes, but that's question to question. If the question says that, keep it in whole numbers, then keep it in whole numbers. Right now, the question is not saying anything. In the exam, usually they do. If that happens, इसको 8 कर देना. तो यहाँ 8 से multiply कर देना. ये करने के बाद इसको 16 कर देना. तो नेक्स्ट वाले को 16 के साथ मल्टीप्लाई कर देना. डोंट टेक इट एज डेसिमल्स. सर बोलते हैं वैसा ही करो ना फिर. अच्छा करो अप्रोक्सीमेट. They say in the exam that calculate the number of breakdowns in whole numbers. इन्होंने तो कैलकुलेशन ही नहीं दिया है. They haven't done the calculation only. बस एक खूबसूरत सा टेबल ड्रॉ करके खत्म कर दिया. क्या करूँ? शुड आई अप्रोक्सीमेट इट टू जीरोस और शुड आई लेट इट बी? डिसीजन वही रहेगा, बट ये हो जाएगा. रखता हूँ ना, रहने दो. चलो, 4th ईयर Okay, there. 15.756 into 0.05 plus the 7.625 will break down with the probability of 15% plus the 2.5 with the breakdown with the probability of 30%, and the 50 will break down with the probability of another 30%. 15.756 into 0.05. Done. Add that to memory. 7.625 into 0.015. Oh, sorry, 0.15. Correct? Add that to memory. 2.5 into, sorry, 2.5 into 0.3. Add that to memory. And lastly, 50 into 0.3. 17.68155. Perfect. So I'm taking it as 17.682. So that's 17.682. Last for the fifth period, 17.682 into 0.05 plus 15.756 into 0.15 plus 7.625 into 30% plus 2.5 into 30% plus 50 into, I believe 20% is the last probability. Is that right? Yes. So let's start calculating this. Let's clear our memories. 17.682 into 0.05. Add that to memory. 15.756 into 0.15. Add that to memory. 7.625 into 0.3. Add that to memory. 2.5 into, sorry, 2.5 into 0.3. Add that to memory. And lastly, 50 into 0.2. Add that to memory. Recall. 16.285. Perfect. That is 16.285 breakdown. Done. Let's start doing the costing. Let's start with one column at a time. Number one is month. Month number one. Number of I think the words they're using is failure or breakdown. Failure. So number of failures in the first month is 2.5. At rupees. At rupees 3,000 per failure, cost of failure is going to be 3,000 into 2.5, which is going to be 7,500. Then you have Q, mu, lay, tiv, cost of failure. Then you have cost of preventive maintenance. So at rupees 1,500 per equipment, right? Yes. Cost of preventive maintenance is 1500 के हिसाब से, if all 50 machines are preventive maintained, 7,000, 75,000. Total cost is 7,500 plus 75,000. Last is average cost. 80 to 500. Month number 2. 7.625 breakdowns at 3,000 rupees. 22,875. Correct? Accumulate that by adding the 7,500, 30,375. Add the fixed 75 to that. 105,375. 105,375. This is for 2 periods. Divide that by 2. And your answer is 52,687.5. उनका ना बहुत अलग आ रहा है. I have not taken any cost wrong, right? 3,050 equipments, 2.5. Are we making a mistake anywhere? 75 is 1500 का preventive maintenance है ना? ये preventive maintenance अगर करना है, servicing करना है तो 1500 रुपए लगेगा. 1550 equipments का is 75,000. बराबर ना? 78 कैसे आ रहा है इसको? Breakdown is correct, right? 3,000 के हिसाब से 3 2 6 75 होता है तो 3,750. It is 50 with a probability of 0.5%. 50 into 2.5. Perfect. I don't think I'm wrong anywhere, but उनका और अपना थोड़ा off आ रहा है. Anyway, let's continue. Third period. How many breakdowns? 15.756. 3,000. 47,268. Accumulated by adding the 33,75 to that. And that's 77,643. Add the 75 to that. And you will get 152,643. Oh, sorry. Average is going to be 50,881. It's still reducing. Good idea. We'll continue then. Month 4. How many failures? 17,682. 53046, yes. Cumulated with 77,643. 130,689. 205,689. Average, that has to be divided by 4. 51,422 point. So 51,422.25. It has started to increase. Then we'll definitely say that group replacement every 4 periods is the best idea. My only problem is उनको और अपना आंसर बहुत ही ज्यादा ऑफ है. They've only drawn a table. Their answer is also the same every 3 months. Anyway, forget it. चलो एक ही लास्ट बचा है. I know we can stop here, but एक ही लास्ट बचा है तो वो कर ही देते हैं. 16.285. 16.285 into 3,000, which is 48,855. Cumulate that with the 130,689 is 179,544. Yes, Diya. Add the 75 to it. 254. 54.4. Average 50. 908.8. Correct, but it's still more as compared to the third period. And that is why we say that it is best to break down maintenance every 3 months. That's going to be the answer. उन्होंने solution बनाया नहीं है, to be very honest. What they have directly done is, I'll show you what they've directly done. This is the first solution, that if you only and only break down maintain, इतना खर्चा होगा on an average every month, and preventive maintenance से ये होगा. I'll tell you, the question is actually intelligent and stupid. Why? I'll tell you. देख रहे हो only breakdown maintenance का कितना खर्चा on an average? 43,447. Isn't that right? And अगर मैं हर 3 महीना preventive maintenance कराऊं तो क्या है खर्चा? 58,881. तो मुझे बताओ क्या कराओगे? Breakdown maintenance A या preventive maintenance B? Every 3 months servicing कराओगे या नहीं कराओगे? Think about it. Polo, one in the chat box if anybody is still writing. One if anyone is still writing. Jaldi. So, very honestly, in this question or in this situation, if asked, I would say, or I as a manager would say, do not do preventive maintenance. Servicing कराओ ही मत. आप सिर्फ और सिर्फ breakdown repair करते रहो, वो सस्ता है. It is cheaper to maintain breakdowns as compared to doing a preventive servicing. This is it about maintenance management.